yeah, there's definitely a use case for it, so I'm interested.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the most advanced technologically on the market. I mean, this thing is a powerhouse, and with your experience, you'll recognize it readily. What you got here is it's a diesel generator base, so it's a Generac base unit that has a Kubota diesel engine. It has 65 gallons of diesel on board. It'll run a week with a continuous 24/7, and it's got a gas gauge built in, so you know the fuel level, and it'll alert you when the fuel's getting low on that. But the real power comes in on the top of the unit, and that's the technology that's up on top of there. Now, up on that head, we've got 2 radars back to back, so we've got 660 foot of total coverage, 360 degrees. A PTZ is assigned to each radar. So now you've got 2 Q63 series paired with 2 radars. So that's the 360, 660 foot coverage. There's 4 Axis Q36 series fixed cameras. Those 36 series allow you to remotely adjust the pan, tilt, and zoom. They're not PTZ cameras, but they're fixed cameras, but you can pre-focus and point them where you want. That's huge because when you deploy something like this, obviously you don't want to try to adjust on the ground, run it up all too high, too low. So now you can do a wide angle view of 360, or you can focus in on assets. That would be great for water treatment, whatever. So you can look at specific things on those 4 fixed and use them as inputs. Additionally, it's got the outdoor horn on there to be able to play alerts, sounds, whatever. So it's got the big C13 here source horn that points straight down. It's got 2 license plate cameras on board that could also be thermal cameras. So license plate, it'll read plates and capture them, log them. If you want that, if you don't want that, you can go with thermals or leave them off. So this can be customized, obviously, based on the needs you have. The other cool thing about this is it's got 4 LED panels on it. These are 325 watt LED panels, not equivalent 325, actual 325 watt. So this is a total of over 1,200 watts of lighting. And with that, if you envision kind of 2 football fields stacked on top of each other, you could light 2 football fields with the light from these panels. Now that panels you can kick on and off through the software. So I can turn them on and off, or you can use your radar to kick them on. So you don't want to, out in an area where you might have residents, you might have things, you don't want to necessarily burn the lights all the time, but you can have them kick on if it senses motion on the PTZ. Of course, you got the Iris Spotlight PTZs as well. So, you got the benefit of everything. But those lights are huge, or if you just want to turn around and get a better look at what's going on at night out there. So those LEDs are fantastic. Now, this whole thing runs on diesel, but it can have external power as well. So you can leave the generator off, plug it in. It just needs 20 amps, 120 volts to run everything. You can only need 5 amps if you're just running everything but the lights. So if you didn't need the lights and had lower current availability, then you could go with that. But the radar is, you can see here, like in this environment we've got with this. There's a rock pit friend of mine owns, and we've got radar set up with tracking on PTZ. It's just incredible. But the ability to be able to tie all this together, the plates, the lights, setup of this thing is only about 7 minutes setup and 7 minute teardown. So It's incredible to get it up there. We use guy wires that increase. It's got a rated wind rating of 65, but that goes up with the guy wires, and the guy wires are important because it stabilizes all those cameras. So without guy wires, you're too floppy, in our opinion. But they're coated, spring loaded. It's super easy to deploy the thing. So this is a fantastic solution. There's the low fuel alerts we talked about. One thing we didn't talk about yet was the support. We're based in Ohio. Everybody you talk to on the phone is based in Ohio. They build these units, they configure these units. It's included. You either have a 3-year or 6-year plan with Billy's setup that's included with it. So you get unlimited configuration, unlimited support. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Obviously, you're very technical, but with our expertise in configuring this stuff and setting it up, prepackaged solutions, we're going to jump in and show you the optimal configurations, tweaks, not only on the back side, but also on the front side and the design side of things. So our engineering expertise in this space and our custom housings that make everything fit together nice, and you're not slapping things on 20 things on a pole and trying to make it all work. And honestly, with our setup, you're going to be much better off utilizing the full power of this, because if you used these cameras and the same technology with digital WatchGuard, you're gonna lose a ton of the functionality and power. So really, you kind of get the best of both worlds with your setup, because you're going to have our server running ACS pre-configured for all these things to work together, and we can feed alerts into that. And incidentally, too, on board is also digital I/O modules with 6 ins, 6 outs. So SCADA inputs can come in as inputs. We can send outputs to SCADA. It's not obviously in the same network. You'd usually, subnet that off into a different, VLAN, but there's physical switch contacts. So dry contacts in, dry contacts out. So now another layer inputs into the system, and it's built all into that housing. So you mount that up there, put the subwoofer on the pole, and you're off to the races.